This is a story about a black girl who didn't like being called African. This girl is from the islands. Me and this girl were cool, right? We were cool, and one day we were talking, and I say to her, you know what, like, if I didn't know you, like, and I saw you for the first time, right, I would have thought you were African. And at first she didn't really react to it, and she was like, "Oh, why what would make you think I'm African? Like, if you didn't know me, what would make you think I was African?" And I said, that your physical features, they're more kind of like African. You have more African traits, like your body, is kind of shaped like how, African women are normally shaped. And I didn't think anything of it. I thought we were just making conversation, right? So she didn't say anything. She was cool. And then I was chilling at home, and I got this long message from this girl. Got this long message, and she was talking about how I should never call her African, and that she felt like I disrespected her by saying she looks like an African, and she looks nothing like an African. And she said that at least I should have said she looked American. So basically, she was like, she would rather I say she looked American than say that she looked African. And when I read that, I was in disbelief. I was like, what? I had heard of black people who don't like to be considered African. I had heard of that, but I had never experienced it, like, in my life. Like, I had never experienced it face to face. And now I am experiencing this in real time. The girl is writing me a long paragraph, angry because I say that if I didn't know her and I saw her for the first time, I would have thought she was African. Now I was perplexed by that, and I told her, listen, I was just making conversation. And I was like, but besides the conversation, the fact is, you are from Africa. Whether you want to say you're from the islands and all this stuff, you are from Africa. Because if you know the history of those islands, you know that the people from those islands, the original black people, were slaves, African slaves. And that's just a fact. They were African slaves, and they were brought to that island. So you being offended that I would have thought you were African if I didn't know you and I had met you for the first time is it's kind of cantankerous. Like, it makes no sense, because I know where you're from, and I'm not saying you are African. I'm saying that if I didn't know you, I would have thought you were African. But you're offended by being called African, and I don't get that. I don't understand it. I will never understand it up to now. But later on, we squashed it and we moved on. But I just didn't forget that. Like, I was like, really? Like, I didn't know that honestly didn't know that there were black people who were embarrassed to be called African. It's like they deem it as something that is not cool. I'm not saying that's how she is right now. I'm just saying at that time, that's how she was. Maybe now she's different. But at that time, she did not like to be referred to as an African. And yeah, that's it. Now see you on the next one.